French Shalom and greetings to you all. How was your Father's Day? It's always a good day to call Dad and say hello. Any day is good. Then we left Dad's Day, and here we are at the summer solstice, a name meaning sun standing still. And believe it or not, it's known as midsummer, although I swear summer's just beginning. Now, does that mean it was way warmer back when they started calling it midsummer? And it's not so much global warming we have, but maybe cooling. It's also the longest day of the year. And that means we lose a little sun now every day from here on in. And this year, the honor of the longest day, and therefore the solstice, went to June 20th. We think of the 21st of the 4 months of the equinox and solstices. But it's for when the sun enters that sign, is why it's the 21st. But each true solstice or equinox rotates over a 20th to the 22nd of the month period. So some years 20th, some years 21st, some years 22nd. Now these solar dates are sacred, and they've always been to whoever was here before. And they're clearly named in the Talmud, and they've been honored and celebrated for thousands of years. Tekufa Nisan, the spring equinox, when the sun enters Aries. Tekufa Tammuz, summer solstice, when the sun enters Cancer. Tekufa Tishrei, the autumn equinox, when the sun enters Libra. Tekufa Tevet, the winter solstice, when the sun enters Capricorn. And Tekufa is simply the Hebrew word meaning turn or cycle, because it's like a wheel that's turning, and it is the cycle that keeps changing. Now, we celebrate these power days with blessings for the changing seasons, and kavanot, the prayerful intentions for crossing from one time to another. They're not new. They're based on very old traditions which you may reincorporate into your own spiritual practices. They're really quite lovely. Everything that happens in your life is a result of your kavanot, your intention. You hear me talk about it all the time. And it's easy to honor the 4 special days. And you can do so as simply as by engaging your senses, like you do for every Sabbath. So what do we have? We have sight, taste, scent, touch, sound. All the same things that we encounter and do some kind of a prayer for during the Sabbath. For sight, we have candle lighting. Like every week, flame reminds us that within each of us lives the divine fire that can illuminate the darkest places. May the light enable you to see the work that needs to be done in the awesome majesty of creation. And you can give a little prayer of thanks for it. Blessed are you, source of life, who makes us holy with commandments and instructs us to kindle the lights of this good day. We have taste, and we always do the blessing over the wine, so we raise our cup because we're thankful for the partnership we have with creation. May the fruits of the earth nourish each of us and sustain us throughout our journey. Blessed are you, source of life, who creates the fruit of the vine. There's scent. And for scent, it's often incense or flowers are really good things to use. Invisible. The sense of smell comes to us through the air. We breathe in the fragrances of life, and we awaken to each and every one of them. And in our breath, we sound the name of the Creator, awakening us to the creative force that gives breath to all life. May the breath of the universe rouse each of us to strength and passion. And you can add a prayer. Blessed are you, beloved one, who creates varieties of spices. Touch. We think of touch through our hands, holding a beloved, comforting a friend, planting a garden, wrapping ourselves in the talit, the cloth and traditions of our ancestors. May we all always know the love and safety we can find wrapped within our own rich traditions. Blessed are you, great God, who commands us to wrap ourselves in the radiance of creation. And there's sound. There is a rhythm to the day, to the week, to the year, to life itself, and to all creation. Whether we know the words or just hum along, we can always feel the music. May we all continue to hear and dance to our own beat. May the source of life and all it is be a blessing to you. But not all of us are living in blessings, my friends. There is a real world with real problems out there. And there's real problems right now. Now, nobody wants war. Well, most normal, decent people do not want war. It's destructive, not constructive. And it points to the vast waste that the war machine creates, although it does make some exceedingly wealthy. So it's an income generator. Let's all pray for final resolution to the senseless hatred that we see in the Middle East. Here we have one group wants peace and cooperation for all. One wants death and annihilation for the other. One used pinpoint accuracy not seen since Luke fired the shot that took out the Death Star, as it decapitated a nuclear program ready to be unleashed on the world, killing military targets and not civilians. The other unleashed as much death and destruction on innocent civilian populations as possible. Only fools could continue to turn a blind eye to the favor Netanyahu has done the world. They all know it. They all secretly relish it. But the Jew-hating, anti-Semitic world that is growing by the day cannot bring itself to condemn and praise where each is due. And you know what? You got to really love the names of military activity, from Operation Praying Mantis to Operation Rising Lion. Boy, they've come a long way from Operation Barbarossa, a World War II one, which actually began as Operation Fritz, a loser name, if ever there was. Names can say so much. Like the pine trees lining the winding road, I got a name. I got a name. Like the singing bird and the croaking toad, I got a name. I got a name, and I carry it with me like my daddy did. But I'm living the dream that he kept hid. Even names like the names of the Parshas can be extremely misleading. And this week, we read one of the most misleading names. But first, let's come together and celebrate, not divide. As we gather as a like-minded group, a collective consciousness of seekers showing faith, any and all faith, love, any and all love. As we come together as a community, a true chavura, a fellowship expressing our nature, kindness, compassion, thoughts, feelings, hopes, dreams, and wishes, because that's what unites us all. This community house of spirit, Beth Ruach, sharing and bringing light, keeping fear at bay. And even though together, we are individual in our approach, each connecting in his or her their own way. So once again, please do go ahead. Invite everybody you know, physically, digitally, psychically, emotionally, spiritually, any way at all, to gather and share from Psalm 133, the Hine Matov. Come together. Hine Matov. Nayim. Shevet Achim Gam Yachad. Hine Matov. Ubenayim. Shevet Achim Gam Yachad. How good and how pleasant it is for brothers and sisters together. Community. 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 Together. We support each other in this community. So let's all spread love, goodwill, fellowship to the world. Remember, friends, this is you setting aside a little bit of sacred time in your own sacred space to honor and converse with whoever, whatever you happen to believe in, because we all believe in something. It's a part of your kavanah, your intention that you put out to the universe. It's your goodwill. Goodwill and intention are the roots of what you can control, of what you can correct. It is your intention that sets in motion everything that occurs in your lives. And it's goodwill and energy and light that we send to help heal those who we know need it. Healing and renewal is for everybody. It just floats through space, finding those in need. So send it out for those you know, for the souls and spirits of everybody you love. So think of whoever that needs healing and renewal and love, or just plain goodwill. Focus on them. Call their names. It's not just for people. It's for our pets. It's for the earth. It is the healing of the world. The Tikkun Olam. It's part of our spiritual genetic makeup. And a part of the healing of the world is when we send thoughts and energy for health and renewal and goodwill for everybody. They don't have to be sick. It's for those in our hearts and our minds. So let's all send energy out for the people in need everywhere. Special thoughts and prayers for those in need of assistance, always. Because we pray for those who need prayer. We don't have to know them. We want health, recovery, good life for everybody around us. And let's continue to send healing energy for the hostages still held 600 days and counting, still in prison, still languishing in their pits of despair, forgotten by a new war. These are the never-to-be-forgotten victims, the innocents. Time will not erase them. For those closer to us, for Pal and Al, for Winston of the miracle recovery, for my fairy godmother, I miss her so, for dear Sonia, victim of the man, for Charles, Amin, Billy and Miriam, for Callie and Carson, for Gabby, Jess and Trevor, for Starwatch and Snoopy and the Builder, for the Elf, for Sabrina and Dave, for Paul, for Maria, for PJ and Chad, for Pinky, for Inura, for Alana, for Johnny and Fern, for Kathleen, for Mina and Carla, for John and Maria, for Gloria and Doria, for Connie, Ronnie, Tally, Mayim, for Nina and Danny, for all those suffering and in need. Let's not forget to include all the familiars of our lives, all of our sacred animal friends everywhere. For everybody you know in need, for the whole world, and for Rosemary, thinking of taking up golf, good luck. We pray for those who need prayer, friends. It is the kindness, the healing wishes, goodwill, and love we all send out. It just circles the world, finding those in need. So thank you, each of you, for all you do, for all you care. Because the world is a world of spirit, and spirit, my friends, never dies. The Shabera. Avotenu. Makor ha-bracha. Limotenu. May the source of strength bless the ones before us. Help us find the courage. Make our lives a blessing. The renewal of body. The renewal of spirit. Let us say, Amen. Misha Barak, let us all have our spirits renewed. This is the great prayer that we say all the time for healing. We call upon God to heal as He is healed before. Mi Shaberach, may He who blessed, because all healing is a blessing. Let's all send and receive healing and renewal energy in our efforts to love, to share, to care, to grow. Now, get ready for truly one of the great misleading named Parshas of all time as we read Shelach, send. And don't forget the names were all given much later, right? Because the book was written and then it was hundreds of years later. Now this Parsha is known as the episode of the spies. Even though they're not called spies anywhere, when you say the word spies, you think of spies, and stereotypes come to mind. We think of James Bond. And the Lord spoke to Moses, saying, send men. Let them scout the land of Canaan that I'm giving to the children of Israel. You shall send one man for each tribe of his fathers, every one of them a chieftain. Now, the misunderstood story of the spies is really, it's a story about the lack of leadership which condemned the people and turned an 11-day journey into a 40-year ordeal. One many haven't completed yet. Now, the men whom Moses sends are all tribal leaders. They're not ordinary scouts, and they are not spies. When we think of spies, we think of James Bond, Simon Templar, Mata Hari, James West. Not Churchill, Roosevelt, Elizabeth, Regina, Gandhi, Kennedy. The former were spies, the latter chieftains, heads of state, leaders. The function of their mission is not espionage, but observation, to bring back a description of the land to the people. They are the leaders of the people. That is why their negativity when they return is so devastating. It's not just a disappointing bit of intelligence. It's a failure to lead and encourage the two things we expect our leaders to do. These men are the leaders, and we expect better of our leaders. We still expect better of our leaders. Look at the situation. Here they were in the promised land. But their fear The great inheritance from Jacob kept them from the realization of their dreams. Friends, don't let fear stop you. Begs us to examine the leaders in our lives and, of course, our own abilities to lead. Now, the function of their mission, as I said, it's not espionage, but simply observation. Bring back a description of the land to the people so that intelligent decisions can be made. Not like now. As George Santayana said, those who do not read history are doomed to repeat it. Those who fail to learn from the mistakes of their predecessors are destined to repeat them. People no longer need read, but they can simply ask Google, Siri, or Alexa. What a shame. Now we foolishly focus on the men as spies. And of course, the legendary indication associated with this piece is that a single cluster of grapes is so heavy that it requires 2 men to carry it. Giant food. A land flowing with milk and honey. But it is seen as a death trap. So even if the Israelites were to succeed in obtaining a foothold and themselves become dwellers of the land, they're told they have to share it with giants, the half-celestial beings we met in Genesis. Well, it would consume them through domestic and international warfare. It leads us to this little line, which has relevance, but it's almost a throwaway line, and it's used as an excuse for the decision. Numbers 13:22. They went up to the Negev, came back to Hebron, and Ahiman, Sheshai, Talmai, the offspring of the giants, were there. The giants. Look how easily these people talked of giants. It wasn't a fantastical thing. They were real. And it takes us back to Genesis near the end of the Old Cosmic Bible, where we first met the giants. If you want to know more about them, go read the book of Enoch. It's a fascinating book. And you'll see the beginning of the Noah story unfold in a completely different way. Now, we've encountered giants throughout history, not just biblical, but the entire Greek and Roman classical age, and perhaps the last biblical giant written about that we're all familiar with, that we talk about as if he was real, was Goliath. We speak of him as an actual live being. We don't think of him as supernatural. And he was a direct descendant of those Nephilim who played such a crucial role but are not talked about much. The Bible got off track of the cosmic creation. And this was a really brief return. We've worked hard to minimize its impact and discussion because it leads to too many questions. But what's a giant? How do we measure? Now we tend to equate greatness to being a giant. We talk of those who are giants in their fields. It's a different type of giant from what the Bible was talking about. Our giants are the GOATs. Tiger Woods, Tom Brady, Bob Dylan, the Beatles. The biblical giants were the fierce, fee-fi-fo-fum, Jack and the Beanstalk giants, the ones to be afraid of. And that is used here as it is used now. Fear is your greatest enemy. So the leaders who were scouting return after the 40-day biblical time frame with this huge, incredible food, right? That people will never starve, but full of fear. They cannot enter the land. They cannot fight. They cannot win. They still hold the slave mentality from Mitzrayim, confinement, Egypt. But constraint is in our minds. It always was, and it still is. Numbers 13:27. And they told them and said, we came to the land where you sent us, and also it's flowing with milk and honey, and this is its fruit. Nonetheless, the people who live in the land are strong, and the cities are fortified, very big. And we saw the offspring of the giants there. And the men who went up with them said, we won't be able to go against the people. They're stronger than we are. Fear. Fear, my friends, is the insidious thief of life. It terrifies you and is the result of projection. What if? So, what if? What if not? Do not give power to what has not happened. It will paralyze you. Now, faced with this, the forgiving God, who didn't so quickly forgive, because God knew these people were not going to change, And hence he took this episode and condemned the people's 11-day journey to go 40 years until all those who had been counted in the census had died. They were too immersed in fear. It is the great curse of man, and we often ignore the holy day set aside every year to remind you that you can be free. Passover is about freedom from fear. 700 million. Are you listening? Most of what you read is made of lies. Speaking one to one, ain't it everybody's son to wake to in the morning when we rise? Come and sing a simple song of freedom. Sing it like you've never sung before. Let it fill the air, fill the people everywhere. We, the people here, don't want a war. Yes, my friends, the world is sacred. So is everything in it. Express your gratitude, light a candle, make a wish. Celebrate your life and the lives of those you love. Share your feelings with them. Live free, be free. Honor your freedom. Be well, be happy. Be blessed. Share and honor the light and all who live in the light and continue to shine. Continue to send everybody you know goodwill and love. Pray for peace and freedom for everyone. And end to terror and hatred. Remember, friends, we're a community. We learn together. We celebrate with each other. We love each other. We share this ride together, men and women equally. Let's all send out love, not fear. Send out peace, harmony, goodwill, and healing to all who need it. And please do. Learn to forgive. Learn to love. Open your hearts. Honor the relationships of your life and tell those you love that you love them. Examine your intentions and use them to imprint your will on the universe. We set in motion all that happens in our lives. It's our intention, our kavana, our cause, our effect. Everything's linked. You always have time to forgive and to be forgiving. You have the knowledge of what's good and bad. We always did. We always will. So acknowledge what you have done wrong to yourself, to God, and to any person you wrong. Ask forgiveness. But always do so with sincerity, accountability, vulnerability. Forgive those who've hurt you as you learn to be forgiving and compassionate. As the secret of forgiveness, compassion, and peace is in acceptance. Can you accept yourself, other people in the world, just as they are? Can you accept life as it is without trying to control it? Because if you do, you can experience the peace that acceptance brings. So keep on dreaming, my friends. Keep on being, keep sharing, keep shining, keep teaching. Keep spreading joy and goodwill. Do not follow fear, follow love. It's always in front of you. And please, be kind. Continue to explore faith. Continue to explore belief. Never accept shame as a natural state. Whatever you feel, others have felt. Whatever you've experienced, others have too. Because we share together, we learn together, we help each other. Because we're each of us trying to find love, acceptance, and support. We all have or could have that special someone in our lives. So find them. Tell them what they mean. You're never alone on your journey. Listen to the voice of God as God talks to you. Always talking to you. And remember, your connection to God in body and soul and everything that's been created. It's a part of you. It's a part of me. It's a part of everybody. It's a part of all of the universe together. There is no difference between any of us. Enjoy the journey. We're on a road in the wilderness, each of us. And all the things we see of the people, the forging of a nation, a code, not just a ritual, but of ethical laws, our character, our understanding of the true interconnectedness, and the reality that we are forever blessed, and we are actually all on the same journey. It is the journey of our leaders and ourselves, not our spies. Beware the pretty faces that you find. Pretty face can hide an evil mind. careful what you say, or you'll give yourself away. Odds are you won't live to see tomorrow. Secret agent man, secret agent man, giving you a number, taking away your name. You know what, friends? You are not a number. You will never be a number. You are you. Your name has meaning. Thank you for joining me. Shabbat shalom and blessings to you all. Take care. Bye.